Yes, so let's start now. So we are in a very good morning, first of all, to all of you. And we are in unit number 2, JDBC, Java Database Connectivity. Very, very crucial unit as far as your development, web development and real-time application development is concerned, because every application, 99.9% application requires the backhand to store the data of users and other kind of important data. So yes, it is very, very essential to learn the JDBC, or rather database connectivity. And as we are learning advanced Java, we are learning the connectivity of database through Java. It is not only limited that only Java can connect to the database. Any programming language can connect to the database. But right now we are focusing on how Java connects with different databases. Right now, for this semester, we'll be working with MySQL database only, because one of the main reason is it is an open source, and also it is easy to understand because it provides you the GUI to deal with your databases. So as a user, it would be very comfortable to have the GUI, or rather an interface to deal with your data. Unlike Oracle client, which does not give you the GUI, you have to write the queries to manipulate your data, whereas MySQL gives you GUI. Now, before we start, I want to have a recap of last lecture because that is important. Can anybody help me to recall what we did yesterday as far as GDBC is concerned? What we learned? Anybody? Unmute yourself and you may discuss. What things we discussed in what things we discussed in last lecture regarding JDBC? Yeah, you can unmute yourself and answer, please. You all are absolutely correct. GDBC, then drivers, need of drivers, but I want to hear from you. So please unmute yourself and answer. If I can hear you, it would be better to discuss.
Ma'am, we discussed about JDBC, which acts as a socket between the Java programming language and the database, the whole database.
Okay.
It connects both.
Correct. But I suggest that you don't use the word socket, because socket is altogether a network terminology. But so what you should say?
No, ma'am, act as a.
Okay, yeah,
It's
I understood your point totally. But we are in our subject only, we are dealing with socket as some different concept. So what you can say is your intention or your aim behind telling I got it. But when you are sitting in front of some external examiner, don't use the word socket, because socket is altogether different thing. So what you can say,
okay.
it is a bridge between your application or your front end Java and the backend. Very good. Anybody else? Anybody else? Please unmute yourself and answer. I don't want few people to interact. I want everyone to interact. I should feel confused that whom to give the chance to answer. There must be so many people who are ready to give the answer, and I have to select one. So please take part in the discussion and learn it. Tell me, anybody else? Yes, definitely. Driver will be the bridge between your application and the backend. Why we need a bridge? We understood it in very detail in last lecture that we need a bridge because your front end is having the different language to work. Your backend is also having different language to work. So if you connect it directly, it is impossible to communicate because both of them cannot understand each other's language. So there must be one common entity which will understand the language of both, and it can convert the languages so that everyone can communicate it properly. And that entity which bridges this gap is your driver. There are different types of drivers. We have skipped that topic because I want to focus more on theoretical part. There are different types of drivers available. the level, this type is decided by how this driver works between these two entity. So let us start with our actual session. Anybody is having doubt in the previous session, so that I can resolve that doubt first, and then I will continue with the new topics. Anybody? Anybody, or shall I proceed? Okay, I hope there is no doubt. So let's proceed. Let me share the screen with you all. Yes. Okay, Rahul. Okay, fine. Let's proceed. So I think my screen is visible. I hope my screen is visible to you all. And we did this much. We did what is architecture of JDBC. Then we did the classes and interface which are used in JDBC. And we also saw one small program which is connecting our Java application with the backend MySQL. That was just a connection establishment program where you are not doing any data manipulation. You are just saying, or you are just doing the connection with your database. I will repeat those steps also, because these steps are a bit confusing, or you have to follow multiple steps to connect with your database. But I assure you that once you will do the 2 or 3 programs by your own, every step will be very, very clear to you all. Okay, so this was the architecture where your application is interacting with the database with the help of APIs and drivers. So we also understood a very, very important thing, that for every database you use, for every database you work, every database will have a different kind of driver. So based on the database you select, you have to register that type of driver only. Otherwise, you cannot communicate, because every database works in a different way. So your driver should be capable enough to understand Java as well as the working of your database. So for every database, you have a separate unique driver. Right now, our database is MySQL, and the driver will be com.mysql.jdbc.driver. That is the driver for MySQL. So this was the architecture. We studied that. We also learned that for any database application you want to create, you have to first import the package java.sql or javax.sql, which provides you the basic classes and interfaces to deal with your databases. The important classes and interface which we saw was driver manager, connection. This we have already utilized in our program. Over and above this, we will also use the statement interface, which will help us to fire the queries. And the next will be result set, where you will be storing the output of the data which you are getting. So that 4 very, very important 4 interfaces and one class driver manager you are supposed to remember. Now let us move to the types of drivers. There are actually 4 types of drivers, and let me tell you that right now Java uses the type 4, that is thin driver, type 4 driver. Now this is right now majority of the databases will be using, and every higher level programming will be using type 4 driver. Now let us understand every driver in some detail with example. And one more thing, as far as your exam is concerned, this is one of the important question that explain different types of drivers with proper example and diagram. Now let us start with the first one, that is JDBC ODBC bridge driver. It is the first initial driver which was introduced in the software industry. Now, as you can see in the diagram, this particular driver will be installed on the client machine. Now, you might not be familiar with the Visual VB.NET or the earlier version of Visual Studio, where whenever you want to connect with your application, when you want to connect your application with your database, you have to follow so many steps. You have to create your DSN, you have to create your bridge, you have to manually load the driver, everything you have to do it manually. And the steps to deal with the database, to steps to connect the database are also very, very different. And for every database, that vendor has to provide, the vendor will provide the driver. Vendor means I'm talking about vendor means if the database is Oracle, it will be only provided by the Oracle. The driver will be only provided by the Oracle. So let's read the things to get it more clarity. When Java first came out, this was a useful driver because most databases only supported ODBC access, but now this type of driver is recommended only for experimental use or when no other alternative is possible. I don't say that this driver does not exist right now. It does exist, but these are so early version of drivers that it is very difficult to deal with such kind of bridges. You have to explicitly do the connection at both the side by forming the DSN and everything. So this is the initial level of what we say driver. Another thing, your application goes to the ODBC driver. That means the driver, your application deals with the driver. So as you can see in the diagram, your application code will be, there will be a manual bridge between these two. That bridge will interact with the actual driver. The actual driver will interact with the software or the application provided by your vendor, local DBMS, and then network goes, your data can be manipulated through the network. So in all, you can summarize that there were many steps involved to connect with your database, and very initial level of drivers these are. So type 1 driver, type 2 drivers. Now type 2 drivers is bit more advanced than type 1 driver because it is you can say written in C++ languages. So the system calls, the calls which are the queries which you are firing from your GUI will be first converted into C++ calls, that is native calls, and then that calls will be transferred to your database to deal with the data. Again, this conversion is very important, or conversion is needed because the C++ can interact with hardware very easily because they are low level language, or they can deal with assembly level language very efficiently. And that's why this type 2 driver was converting your queries or your calls into C++. One more thing, as your C++ can access the data very efficiently, the speed at which the data will be retrieved is comparatively very faster compared to type 1 driver. So type 2 drivers were written in C++ languages to convert your calls into the database executable form. Now next is type 3 driver, network protocol driver. See, this is a middleware server. Now imagine you have an application where you are interacting with multiple database. Now here multiple database does not mean multiple tables. Here means multiple databases means one, for some time you want to access the data from Oracle. For some time you want to access the data from MySQL. For some time you want to access the data from MS Access. So all together different database management systems, and you want to deal with such kind of scenarios. At such kind of scenarios, there must be one common driver which should be able to switch between different drivers. For example, whenever you want to get the data from MS Access, the driver should be able to convert it into that form. When you need the data from MySQL, your calls or your query should be converted into that MySQL understandable language. Means switching between the different database management system. Sometimes if it is needed, then it is known as network protocol driver, which is associated at network layer, which will divert the calls based on the type of database management system you are using. It's a three-tier approach. Three-tier approach means first your query goes to, first of all, there will be a client which fires the query. Then your query goes to that network or middleware server, where middleware server will first select that which particular call it is. It is for MySQL. So convert it into MySQL and then go to the server. So that is a three-tier architecture: client, middleware, that is your bridge, and third layer is your server. So that is your not network protocol driver, and generally it is installed on the network and not on the client or server side. So that is type 3 driver. And last but not least, that is thin driver, that is 100% pure Java driver. It directly interacts with the database without having any kind of network or any kind of extra effort needed. You just load the driver into the memory and your job will be done. Another thing, it is known as a thin driver. Thin driver means what? Thin drivers are the drivers which need not to be installed on your machine, on your client side. It can directly interact with the server. Without installing also, you can interact with your server. See, if you have noticed yesterday, we haven't installed MySQL client on our machine. We were directly, XAMPP is what? It is a server which gives you the facility that your machine can accept the request. When the request is generated by your machine, that is, your machine is a client. But I want to make my machine itself as a server also. So my machine should be able to send the request as well as accept the request. Now to make it in an accept mode, by default every machine will be a client. But to make it a server, I should have someone to listen my request. So that listening part is done by your server, that is your XAMPP server. So you have installed the XAMPP server on your server, right? And at server only your MySQL was installed. Fine. So your MySQL, without having any knowledge about client MySQL, you are directly sending it to the server MySQL. No need to install it on the client, and you can do the data manipulation. That is what thin driver. The other types of driver are thick drivers. Thick driver means what? You should have the DBMS software on your client also, right? For example, if you are doing connectivity with simple Oracle 8G, what you have to do? You have to install your Oracle client. You have two softwares, right? For Oracle, you might have studied in DBMS that you have Oracle server version and Oracle client version. So for thick drivers, that is your Oracle 8, what you need to do? You have to install the Oracle client on your client machine also. But for this type 4 driver, we does not need to install on client machine. So it is much more convenient to use this kind of driver, and it uses a socket connection because you have a client server architecture, right? So your server will be running at some socket. You will be connecting to your database through some socket. You will redirect your request to that socket, and socket will accept it. That is, will be given to your MySQL. MySQL will return the required data through that same socket, and you will get your data back. So that is your type 4 drivers. The only important part to remember here is this type 4 driver, that is thin drivers. Do remember this. So this is just a comparison between this. You can very well, once you have this, once you have understood all the 4 types of drivers, you can very well understand this comparison also. Conversion from JDBC to ODBC calls. You have bridge calls. So your call will be converted into your Java language to ODBC calls, and ODBC calls is, you can say, a vendor specific, database specific calls. Type 2 for JDBC to native library, that is CC++ calls, from JDBC to middleware specific calls. Because for type 3, you have 3-tier architecture where network has to decide that which database to select. And the type 4 from JDBC to data specific calls. Implemented, every driver is implemented in Java except type 2, which has a combination of Java as well as CC++, because it is the native APIs. Architecture, everyone follows 2-tier architecture where the request goes from client to directly server. But for type 3, you have the network layer in between, that is your middleware in between, where your request first goes to the middleware and then middleware will transfer the request to your third, that is your third tier, that is your server. Platform independent, for every specific you need a specific, for type 1 and type 2 it is not platform independent, it is specific platform dependent. For type 3 and type 4 it is platform independent. Type 4 is independent because it is not concerned with which type of client or which type of software you are using here. You just have to register it and you can use it. And for type 3 again it is platform independent because you are not concerned with the third layer, you are only concerned with the middle layer. So that is what that is your platform independence. Now database independent, yes. Now ODBC, any ODBC database which is using the ODBC calls can be used. Type 2, it is database independent. No, you have a specific database, specific drivers. Type 3, again it is a middleware, so it is database independent. And for type 4, we know that for every specific database management system, you need a specific driver. And all are thick, means your client software should be installed, except type 4 where client side DBMS need not to be installed. So this is type 4 only is thin, and this is one of the biggest advantage of type 4 driver. And generally in today's application you will be dealing with type 4 drivers only. So when to use which driver? If you are accessing one type of database, Oracle, Sybase, IBM, the driver is 4. If you are application accessing multiple types of database at the same time, you should use type 3 that we discussed. Type 2 drivers are useful in situation where you don't have, when you don't get the specific drivers. So you can use driver 2 because ultimately it is going to convert it into CC++ calls. And type 1 drivers, it is not used generally, it is only used for testing purpose, not in the actual situation. So this is what your important classes and interfaces which we have to deal with. Now let me proceed. These were the 5 steps which we need to follow. Let's go to the code. Is there any doubt, anyone? Shall I proceed with the code? Shall I proceed with the code, everyone? This is the theoretical part where you need to just remember that there are different 4 types of drivers available. Is it okay, everyone? Okay. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Asha, Reshma, Janvi. Thank you. Yes. Now, let's go to the code. Now, let me brief you the things which we learned yesterday so that you can recall it quickly. Now, what you have to do to create a simple JDBC programs, first you open a new project. In the new project, just write name of the project, you select the type of project, that is Java, and it is a simple Java application. So just select this. See, this you have to do if you are doing only JDBC. You are not having any kind of UI, web application, where you have a JSP page, where you have UI component, that UI component is interacting with the database. No, I'm not talking about that right now. You have simple Java file which is having a code for database connectivity. At that time, you have to select this procedure. That is, select Java category, select the Java application, click next, and give your application project name, and that's it, finish. Now once you will do this, we have already created this JDBC TC3. You will have the directory structure like this, and in the source package you will have a default packages where you will have your Java connection file, that is you can create, that you already know, new and Java class, and have your simple Java file. Now one thing you have to remember is we need a driver to connect with the database. So where to keep the driver? In the libraries section. How to keep the driver in the library section? Right click the library, add library. Now if you are using the NetBeans, the drivers are already provided by NetBeans library. So from this add library, and you have to select MySQL JDBC driver. It is very easy. So MySQL JDBC driver, add library, and your job will be done. I also told you in previous lecture that if you are not using NetBeans, or if your NetBeans does not have this library, you can go to let me show you. Go to Google and type connector J or MySQL. The first link which you will see, this is connector J. This is the official JDBC driver for MySQL. You select your operating system, and if it is your Windows, just go to download and you download this. You download this file. If it is, you download this file and your job will be done. Now this particular file will be in RAR file. RAR file. Now you have to extract that RAR file, and you have to, let me show you first. Let me download it for you so that this is the installer. This is, I think, a Windows 10. So it is by default, it is getting installer, but you will get the RAR file. From that RAR file, if it is, it would be there in my machine, I will show you. So you will get the RAR file like this. And in that RAR file, when you will extract it, you will have the jar file, Java archive. So when you add like this, add jar or folder, go to the third option, go where you have extracted that RAR file, and select that jar file from your source and add it. So that's how you can attach your driver with your project. So, but most of you is using the NetBeans, so you will automatically get this driver files. Once you are done with your drivers, driver attachment, you just have to execute the code. So when I will run the file, I will be getting the output, but I'm not getting the output because I have not started this server. So there are two things you have to do while you are doing JDBC. First of all, you have to attach the driver file, and second, you have to start your server, that is MySQL. So XAMPP or WAMP, anyone will be fine. So go to the controller here. From here, you can always write XAMPP control panel, and you will get this. And here you start your MySQL. If you are only starting the MySQL and running it, connection established successfully. But the problem here will be you won't be able to see the UI. That is which we saw yesterday. You won't be able to see that UI. Fine. To see that UI, what you have to do, you have to start your server, because please remember, right now you are running your MySQL on your server. So if you want to go to the server, you have to start your server. Server is your, by default, right now we are using Apache. So you have started your server. Now go to the admin panel. So admin panel is localhost PHP myadmin. This is the by default page. It will open for us. and you will see the entire GUI. If you don't start this Apache server, your connection will be successful. You can insert the data, you can delete the data, anything can be done. The only problem will be you won't be able to see this UI. So if I want to see UI, I have to start my Apache server, and then only I can start. So yesterday we created one database, that is TC3DB, and we haven't done anything. So right now it is empty. Is it okay, everyone? Shall I proceed with the further queries? Yes, shall I proceed with the further queries? Is there anything? Should I repeat? Okay, great. Let's start with the first query. Now, to manipulate the data, we have to first create a table. We have created a database, right? TC3DB. But now we have to create the table. So, what is a create query? Can anyone say what is the create query? What is the create query? Create table, table name. We write like this: create table, table name. Then what we write? Complete the query. I need the query. Suppose I want to create the table student. So tell me the query to create student. Yes, anyone? Create table, table name. Then we simply write the column name, the type of the column, and we also write the size of the column if it is varchar or so, right? So so let's start by doing this. Now suppose in our net, in my NetBeans, if I write directly, if I write like this, create, if I fire the query like this, create table student, table name, then we start writing the columns, column names, right? But will this, what is this? This is an SQL syntax. This is the syntax which is only understandable by your MySQL, your database. Your Java cannot understand this. So what I need? I need something which will take my query from Java to database, because I don't have anything, I cannot, or Java cannot understand this. So I cannot write, simply fire the query like this from here. Even though I have successfully connected with the database, I cannot fire the query as it is. I need something which will take my query to database, and at that place it will execute. So who will take my queries to database? Who will take my queries to database? It will be statement interface. So statement st is equal to, now statement st is equal to con dot, what you have to write? What you have to write? Create statement. Now just a second, just a second. Let me drink water and come. Excuse me, guys. Yes. Yes. So what you have to do? Statement. Now what you are creating one entity in Java which will take your queries to your particular database. Now this is the component which will take your query, that is statement st. Now you are supposed to create the statement. This is the syntax to create a, a channel which will convert, which you will put the queries on this, and this will take your queries to the database. Now you are using this con, that is con your connection. Because why you are using this con statement? For this particular connection, for this.
Ma'am,
Yes.
your screen is not visible.
Oh, just a second, just a second. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am, it is
Okay,
visible
okay,
now.
okay. So what we did, we created a statement. We created a link which will take our queries to the database. Now this and that channel which we created, that will be specific to specific connection. Now my connection to particular database TC3DB is referenced by con. Are you getting? So you are creating a particular channel for a particular connection only. For example, if you want to use one database for some query and another database of MySQL for another query, you will create two connection statements. For one connection, you will use this query, another connection, you will use another query. But in almost 90% of the application, we generally create one connection only for a database and we manipulate that. But what, please do understand this statement. We are creating a path to take our query to the database with particular connection. And I am getting the connection for this particular database, TC3DB. Is it okay, everyone? Okay. Is there any problem with this? See, I will just explain this four statements in detail, because that is what the heart of DBMS. Once I will explain the statements or the purpose of the interfaces and classes, everything will be clear to you, because you already know DBMS and queries. I will not explain you what queries will be. Fine. But example of each and every interfaces which we are taking. Okay. So let's proceed now. Now our link is ready to take the query. Our link is ready to take the query. So let us fire the query now. Who will fire the query? Who can take the query to database? Our ST. So ST dot. Now what I need to do? Do you know the difference between DDL, DML and DCL statements in SQL? Anyone? Z, your DDL is your data definition language. Your DML is data manipulation language. And you have DCL, that is data control language. One more is you have DQL, that is data query language. The commands which comes inside DQL, that is data query language, is only select. You just query it. You are not changing your database. Is it okay? So when you have to be very sure that which query you are firing. If your query is changing the database content, I repeat, right now we are talking about which function to use, correct? So you have to first think that whether my query is going to change the content, yes or no. Yes. Right now, see, we are firing the query for creating the table first of all. So is my query going to change the content of my database? Yes. So if your query is changing the content of the database, the function you should use is execute update. Are you getting? Because this is going to update your database. When we will use the select query, we will use the different function. But right now, we know that when I will fire the create query, my database is going to update it, is going to gets update. So you have to use execute update. And now let us write the queries. Create table, let us write it in double quotes. Here the same query with your file. Where care, say I am giving the size as 20. So, and one more, let us write, say, marks with integer. Is it okay? Do we write like this or not? Do we write like this or not? Let us say, let us check it. So your query is created. Now let us just print here for better readability. Table created successfully. Is it okay? Now let's run the application. Here you cannot use this. What you have to do? Help me to write the queries, students. I intentionally wrote the wrong query so that you can help me out. Tell me, can anyone write the create query for me? No one. No one. All are here. See, at least you can do this. Where care 2. Name where care 2. Is there anything else I have to add?
Ma'am, closing parenthesis after int, marks int.
Yes. Anything else? Anything else? Or should I run now? Please be attentive. I am just asking the things which you already did. Still it is error. Tell me.
Size of integer.
Size of integer. Let us try. Still it is an error. Actually, size of integer doesn't matter. If you write it also fine. If you don't write it, that also fine.
Maybe semicolon at the end.
Semicolon. Yes. That's it. Is there anything? Please be responsive. I'm just asking the things which you already know so that I can come to know that. Still giving the problem.
Ma'am, shift after student.
Hello. Yes. Yes, please, dear students, tell me. Be responsive. See, this is not fair.
Ma'am, space
हाँ,
after student.
I need to just create query. I don't need anything. તમે ઇન્વોલ્વ નહીં થાવ તો મારે કેમ કરાવું? નહીતર હું તમને એમને પ્રોગ્રામ આપી દઉં. મને તો કોઈ મારી પાસે તો છે જ પ્રોગ્રામ. ચલો, I will give, but I need only create query. બોલો.
Ma'am, I think we don't need space after student.
Okay, let's try now. Still error. Is there anything else?
Ma'am, semicolon
Yes.
after the create query.
It is there. It is there. It is there.
Ma'am, primary key.
No, that's fine if I don't do it. Initially, it's fine. Then I have to write primary key that I can write here, constraint. But right now I am not. I'm not having any constraints, even not null and nothing. Okay. Now let me give you. Now I'm not wasting time. Let me give you. Create table name, then this is, I think you know, create table name, then let me have the query for you. See, create table name. This was the same thing which we did, and this is the same thing we did, right? Right, now let us create student id name varchar 20. Then we can also have comma marks integer. That's it. Table created successfully. Fine. Let's check our database also, whether the table has been created. Refresh it. Yes, see, there was whether it is null or not. So you know, I think, how to create it. So this is how you can create a table in through your admin, also through your PHP my admin, or you can always fire the queries like this. Is it okay, everyone? So table, we created the table successfully. So let me save this program so that you can have a separate MySQL table creation. So this is the program, table creation only. Finish, and let me save it. This is the program for table creation only. This is, let us keep it as the connection only, so that you can get your different things. You can partially practice. See, so this is what your table creation. Is it okay, everyone? Let me write the comment here. Statement interface will take our queries. This is just a simple language to make you understand. Huh? Don't write it anywhere. Statement interface will take your queries to database and execute there. Is it okay, everyone? Is it okay, everyone? Now if I fire the query, it will give me the error because we have already created the student table. So if you run it for the second time, you will get an error. Is it fine, everyone?
Yes.
Ma'am, I didn't get the error in the SQL query.
Which one? The last error?
The error which we used to get earlier.
That was because we have the incorrect SQL statement. The query which we have written here was incorrect. It was not following the SQL syntax. That's why it was giving you the error. If you are writing the semicolon, we tried this also, but semicolon in Java is something else. You just have to write in single quotes your query. Semicolon means it is the end of the query, but end is understandable by that platform only. Right now our platform is Java. So here don't put semicolon after the end of the query, because that query will be, as it is copied, your MySQL will do semicolon and all for you. You need not to do that, and it will fire the query. That was related to syntax of the SQL. So if you see, let me give you the another example. Suppose I am writing the incorrect meaning of incorrect table spelling. So what it will give? It will give you, see, you have an error in your SQL syntax. So if it is problem with SQL syntax, it will give you this kind of error. Okay? Is there anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So got this, everyone, how to create a table? Yes or no? Is it fine? Yes, Bharat has written the query. Create stable student. Yes, good. But semicolon we don't write, Bharat, okay? Is there anything else, everyone? So should we end the session? And tomorrow we will complete all the queries. That is select, update, delete, insert, everything. And from next lecture onwards, we'll start with the next topics of JDBC. So tomorrow, don't be late. I will sharply commence the lecture on time. So please join in time, everybody. Don't intentionally join late. Otherwise, you will miss the things. So now, let me summarize the things what we did. We created a project where we attached the MySQL driver. Once it is done, you have to start your MySQL and Apache servers. You can go to the UI through this admin button. Go to this UI and you will get your UI for your MySQL. Now once you are getting connected with the MySQL part, what you need to do is, first of all, for the code, this is the registration of the driver that I am going to use this driver. This is actually connection between the particular database with your application, and that connection will be handled by this variable con. Once your connection is established successfully, you can manipulate the database by all the ways which you are doing so far. So get the connection, you create the statement interface reference, which will actually take your queries to your database, because this statement reference can only understand this SQL queries and also is the part of Java. So it is a middleware between your Java and your SQL. From Java, it will take to the database. From database, it will get the results back. Now, how to check whether the table has been created or not, that we will do later on when we will do the different queries, select, update, insert and all. So tomorrow we'll finish every single query. And I insist at least 2 to 3 students from your class to revise what we did in this lecture. Before, in the first few minutes, I want the revision from your side, not from my side, because I don't have to remember this all. You have to remember for your projects and your further applications. So please, I want, and I will randomly ask anyone to give the glimpse. I don't want exact things. This will not be your exam that you give the exact things, but I just want an idea what we did. But don't give just name that we did this, we did this, we did this. No, I need a concept. Okay, so that's all from my side for today. I hope you enjoyed learning JDBC. It will be fun, and I insist that whatever I am doing here, you also do it parallelly, so that you can get the errors, we can discuss, and your problems can be resolved. So B batch will join the next link for the lab. Rest of you can continue with your schedule. So thank you very much, all of you. And
Thank you.
stay okay, Vaibhav. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye bye. Take care, all of you. You all may leave.